my friends, and blessings to all of us for a sweet and kosher Pesach. I want to talk today about the parsha of Acharei Mos, and also by extension the Passover. So in this parsha it talks about us, the Jewish people. We are supposed to be holy. It says there's that injunction to be holy because the divine power is holy. And what brings about this holiness? Of course, within the Jewish system, it is doing mitzvahs, right? Do a mitzvah. Why? Because the mitzvah is meant to be a bridge between that which is most physical and that which is most supernal. It's meant to be a bridge between the different parts of a personality, different parts of a human being. The way that the Holy Zohar puts it, and the Or HaChaim touches upon the question, he says, there are 248 positive commandments in the Torah and 365 negative commandments corresponding to the different parts of the human body. And whenever we do a mitzvah that corresponds to that limb of the body, then the kedusha, the holiness that's within the act, infuses that part of the body itself. So we are, on a physical level as well as a spiritual level, uniting heaven and earth. And this is what the mitzvahs are all about. But really it raises a larger question, both in this, our wonderful parsha, Pesach, and indeed the whole Jewish system, any system, which is, do we need a template to live a life? Do we need a guide and a map to be able to come to a place of spiritual fulfillment and spiritual opening of the heart? Do we need constraints as human beings? Does this wonderful, magical thing we call our consciousness need to be curbed as it matures? Curbed in order to gain a higher status, which we call kedusha, which we call holiness? I would say yes. I would say human consciousness has this way that battles within itself. It aims always toward the high meaning the sweeter place. It oftentimes goes the route of negativity. That is to say, it goes the route of a person looking at a forest and seeing a parking lot. And because there is that intense push within human consciousness, human beings need a certain amount of curb, of fence that we place upon ourselves in order to help move us in a proper direction so that we don't in fact destroy ourselves and destroy the planet. But saying that is not to say it's all about having the right answers, at all, in any kind of sense. It is rather having the ability to have a container for the proper questions that we ask as mature, evolving human beings. It is about knowing that there is an element in our mind, that there is that piece within ourselves that has the ability to look at a thing that is beautiful and destroy it. Kedusha is to know, like that old song, when to hold 'em and when to fold 'em, when to walk away and when to run. There's a beautiful Alexandra Torah that I heard from my teacher of blessed memory. It says, why in the Seder, why doesn't it start right away with questions? The children could ask questions, we would answer, we'd be done. So that's it. And he answers that there are certain things which are so holy, certain kinds of things that are so deep, don't ask questions about it. Don't pick it apart. Don't try to dissect it. Just be with it. Give over to it. There are certain things in life that we have no right to ask about, because the moment we begin to ask about them, we degrade them. Indeed, we profane them. So he says, when it comes to the first part, Kaddish, which is the Kiddush, right? You don't got to ask. No, and the urchatz, which is washing the hands. You don't got to ask questions. Karpas, the vegetables, you can, but you don't have to ask. There's no implicit question really in the Haggadah at that point. But when we come to the Maggid, which is to say the Haggadah, then we ask. And the Alexander, he says, the world is mamish analyzing everything, like a grocer. It weighs everything, yes? And this is, was it good, was it bad, was it this, was it that? We even do that with our children. Are our children smart enough? Are they beautiful enough? Are they doing well enough? Always analyzing, asking, and this has an ability to really pull down, rather than expand and to open. On Seder night, our children see in a very concrete way when to stop. That there's a time to ask questions, and there's a time just to give over, to surrender. We don't tear everything apart, and our children are able to say that, okay, now I want to ask you a question. The first fixing, really, the first fixing that comes in this life, on the deepest level, it comes when we are able to enter into the freedom of just leaving certain things alone. When we are able to leave things whole. When we love something and we don't feel the need to analyze it. The world is broken in so many ways. We read the paper, we see it all around us. But the Seder comes to say we can look at the whole and feel the need to fix it, to change it, to help it. But within that whole, there are places just to accept. I'm sure everybody knows that our children, all children, they ask the deepest questions, so hard to answer. Unbelievable. And the truth is that you and I, we don't have the answers. We don't have the answers. We can read the Haggadah, the entire Haggadah through, but the questions remain questions. Sharing that place of question with each other is itself a kind of an answer. To be able to hold the complexity and the difficulty of things, sometimes without feeling the need to answer it, is part of the ability of human beings to step back from that place of seeing a forest and planning for a parking lot. When Eliyahu Hanovi, we learn in Shas, when he comes, Tishbi Yitaretz Kushios Ubayot, he will answer all the questions, is the saying, is the expression. But I believe that when Eliyahu comes to answer all the questions, the way that he's going to do that, he's going to come in, he's going to sit down, he's going to walk into the Seder, sit down with the people, and he's not going to say anything. He's not going to say a single word. He's not going to answer, because the question itself is so deep that simply being with the questions, permitting ourselves to surrender to the wholeness of things, it doesn't need an answer, because the question is the answer. So I bless us all with our friends, our families, to have a sweet, the whole world, to have a sweet festival of freedom. Amen, amen.